So we're here with Han today from oBike, talking about the new Dockless bikes that you see flying around Melbourne now, the yellow bike. This is the new bike share that's coming out from Singapore, and we're going to go for a bit of a ride with the oBikes, but first of all we thought we'd ask Han some questions about the oBikes. And to start the questions off, Han, if you could wave a magic wand and make it all happen, what is your vision for the best bike share system possible?
Yeah, so basically the idea of the bicycle sharing is like, to provide a convenience to the public audience, which means that, we have like enough bicycles and let the people to use it, especially for these people who don't drive a car or the university students. When the public transportation out of the service, and we want to provide this convenience to the people. And so in my idea, the bicycle sharing should provide convenience and serve the last mile or few miles distance for the people who need this service.
That's fantastic. Now, what's been your biggest barrier to bringing this service to Australia, especially to Melbourne or other places like that?
At the moment, actually, we're quite lucky because we met many people that were always very supportive of the bicycle, like a cycling service, And so for us, we want to speed up the process. We want to make sure our service can deliver to as much as people as we can, as much as a community service we can. So so we want much more support from the audience and from the society and from also the cycling association. Yeah.
And what can you say the cycling community can help overcome with these barriers?
So actually we definitely want to work actively with the cycling community and encourage more people to riding the bicycles. So I don't have to repeat the purpose of the good things of the bicycle, but we want to incorporate some activities, such as riding oBike and also the bicycles together. So we want to have more these kind of activities.
Excellent. Are you working with any local or local governments or state government organisations at this stage?
Yes, we definitely very actively communicate with different councils and also state government, and yes, definitely, yeah. We know that's the first step, that we have to do, to make sure everyone's happy and make sure the audience is happy and the council is happy and to create convenience and has no issue for everyone.
And obviously you're collecting data on GPS and where the bikes are located all the time. This is obviously very good tracking information.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to share that information out later on to state and local governments so they can see and improve the infrastructure for the people using bikes around the city?
Yeah, so we have this data basically to record about the user to start the cycling a pickup point and also the finish trip and all this data, and we definitely open for sharing the data with the government to help them to improve the infrastructure. So we are happy to do that.
Excellent. Is there anything you would like to say to people out there right now to get them on their bikes?
So I would say, life is always about the trying, right? So why not just to try the bicycle sharing? I mean, when we embrace the idea of the sharing, and so we like more and more people to try.
Okay. So I'm going to go into the oBike app.
Yeah. And then we have two a QR code over here, so you can scan either this one, or this one. Okay.
All right. So down here there's a QR code. So I'm going to press unlock.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And then I just let the QR code be done.
Yeah.
Now it's actually telling me that it's about to try and unlock this bike. So we've got a helmet and everything on this bike, so we're actually going to unlock this bike in a moment. And it takes a little bit of time as it synchronises up to the servers and comes back down and says unlock. But there we go, so this bike's now unlocked. Now, if you're using a helmet, your own helmet, make sure you lock the bikes with the helmet after you're finished.
Yep.
Okay, we've got the bike ready now, so we've got some cameras on the bike, and we're going to go out and take this bike for a ride. As you can see, it's unlocked. It's ready for me to go and ride. I've got my own helmet with me because I came down here on my bike, and we're going to go see what they're like. Riding around Melbourne on the oBikes is a little bit of an experience. You've got the bell on your left hand, and you can ring the bell by just twisting your hand a little bit, and you do it quite often without realizing it. It's just sort of a natural thing that when you're turning a corner or something, you ring the bell without even thinking about it. Coming down and around onto Swanson Street, going past the taxis, it was very comfortable. There was no issue. You're sitting very high, and you don't feel like you're in any problem whatsoever. Riding between the taxis, you're sitting in a good position. Keeping an eye out for car doors, etc., meant that we were just a little bit out and a little bit more stable. Riding through this section of Melbourne is one of the more interesting but quite safe areas compared to some of the other areas where you don't have any bicycle infrastructure that's been set up. Of course, you always see a few pedestrians doing the wrong thing, but you know what, they're just pedestrians, they're just people like me on my bike. Coming to the end of the ride, it was very interesting. The bikes are heavy, they're not the lightest bikes around, but they're designed like that there to make sure that they're not just stolen. The ride itself was comfortable on one gear, wasn't too hard, wasn't too easy, it meant that you could keep a nice pace. The bikes are actually really nice. I don't have an issue with them. The only complaint that I'd have is that you don't have any gears, but that's just the sort of bike that they are. Riding through the new sculptures of Melbourne just makes you feel like you're living in a dystopian world these days. But as we finished this ride today, it was nice, pleasant, the sun was out, so it's a good way to get around town. The baskets are nice and big, the bikes are easy to use. We must give these a big thumbs up because honestly there's nothing wrong with the way that these bikes operate. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you get yourselves an oBike or try one of the Ready bikes up in Sydney.